Now we have created the dashboard and customized it. The most important step after the initial setup of the company is creating the chart of accounts or configuring the ledgers. So we have multiple tabs here. In my dashboard, this is the overall position of the company. If you have to enter specifically entries that is related to customers and sales, we have all this area. Vendors and purchases are there related to vendors activities, inventory and services, employees and payrolls, banking. So these are all related to that specific area. But if you want to configure the overall company, you will find this company tab on the last in the navigation pane. Now here we have multiple options that are very important for the overall company. Backup, you can automate the backup process, restore the existing backup, and many options and many other options are there. Import and export from other data applications, and you can close the year end, enter the journal entries, generate the overall reports of the company. And on the top of this, we have chart of accounts, analysis tools, user access rights, and all the other important functions. So first of all, we will create or customize our chart of accounts. Now, when we click on this, we have three options. Either we can directly create new account, or you can view and edit existing accounts. And you can also set up account defaults. So before creating any new account, let's see what accounts we already have pre-configured when we create the company. So I'll just click on this. So I'll see a long list of chart of accounts that we already have. So in most of the cases, you don't need to create chart of accounts. You just need to edit the name of the existing chart of accounts according to your requirements of the assignment. And I'll also show you how to edit this and even how to create a new one if we don't have any suitable category in the existing chart of account series. Now from all of these chart of accounts, we have to make sure that we have these chart of accounts which we require according to our assignment. As I told you before, that Xantides is a trading business which was operating manually before, but now it plans to shift on PeachTree. So we have to enter the opening trial balance with all these ledgers and their relevant opening balances. So we have to first make sure that we already have this chart of accounts. And if we don't have, we will customize or change the name or create new ledgers according to these requirements so that we have all these chart of accounts. So let's just check one by one. My first ledger is debtors or receivables. If I go to PeachTree, we have account receivable in 1110 code. So we already have that. Now next one is creditors. Similarly, for creditors, I need to scroll down under to category because there is a rule of this coding. From 1, all the assets starts. 2 is liability. 3 codes is for equity. 4 is for revenue. And 5 is for most of the time cost of sales, but in PeachTree it represents revenue. And from 7 onwards we have expenses. So this is the basic sequence of this coding. Now the second one was liability, that is accounts payable or creditors. So we already have that. Now next one that we have is stock or inventory. So if we scroll up now, because this is assets, so it can be found under one code. So inventories for sale, this is the category or ledger that we need. So we already have that. Now if you want to change the name according to our assignment, I can just double click on it and change the name directly. For example, I want to see a simple inventory name, and now save it and close. So it will immediately change this name. Now if you don't see the change after you have updated it, you can just directly click on refresh, so you will get the updated name. Now similarly, our next ledger is land and buildings. So if we scroll up and see under the one category, because one is for assets, so we can see in 1610 we have land, and 1620 we have buildings. So now the rules of the international accounting standards have changed. Uh, Earlier it was permitted to book land and buildings together, but now it is not permitted. But since our assignment says you can consider it only buildings, or you can change the name. For example, I want to use this account, so I'll just double click on it and change the name to land and buildings. Now save it and close. It automatically refresh. If it doesn't, you can just directly click on refresh. Similarly, for the other ledger, we have accumulated depreciation of land and building. So we will find its relevant accumulated depreciation account that we already have. That is accumulated depreciation of buildings. I can just double click on it and change it to land and buildings and save it and close. So this is how we can change the name of each ledger. You can do it by yourself. Otherwise, I'll show you all together how to edit the other ledgers as well in the next video. Now for the chart of accounts coding. Now for the chart of account coding rules that I told you, that from 1 is assets, for 2 is liabilities, I've attached one file, that is chart of accounts coding, which you can find and download from the link of this video. So there you will find the global chart of account rule. It might differ from PeachTree, but normally in most of the cases it is same. For example, from 1 is assets for all of accounting softwares, 2 is liabilities, 3 is equity, 4 is revenue. Now under 5 category, it's not cost of sales in PeachTree. It is categorized under revenue even in 5 code. From 6 is direct expenses, 7 is indirect expenses, 8 is other expenses, and 9 is suspense account. So most of the time, most of the softwares follow this same sequence. So you can just download this for your reference whenever you need to go through what coding rules are being followed. So now let's move to the next video and see what other chart of accounts we have that we need to enter in PeachTree.